Chief staff. Before we get to Io, Lonzo was questionable.
Out.
What about Herder?
Out.
Wow. I talked to Lonzo about his injury. He aggravated last game. So I talked to him post game, but I didn't see what happened with Herder.
Just his Herder, just knee sprain.
Did it happen in the game?
Happened in the third quarter.
Okay. And Kobe is good to go?
Yep, Kobe's good, and so is Josh.
Thank you. And then it was pretty clear last game that Io was favoring that shoulder. He was probably trying to play through this for a while. So what can you tell us about how?
Well, I think it happened. I think in the New York game, when they missed the games, and then I think he had come back, and it happened kind of again. And then he missed several more games. I'm not sure the sequence. It was New York, missed a game, then came back, missed a couple after that. I felt the same way at halftime. I grabbed him right before the second half was starting, and I said, "You just don't look right to me." And he's like, "I can go. I'm fine. I can go." So I said, "Okay." And he was cleared to play. But he certainly was dealing with that because I think you saw this the last couple games leading up to the Toronto game is what really kept him out.
So what can you tell us about the process? Was there like a imaging done or something?
Oh, yeah.
What did it show?
I'm not a doctor. He had the thing that's a little challenging was the fact that this was a really, really old injury, and they don't know when the injury had happened. And Io doesn't even remember when it happened, right? But he has really some looseness inside of his shoulder capsule's loose. So in that situation in New York, I don't want to say it re-aggravated it, but it certainly made it more of a situation for him that he could have kind of his shoulder kind of pop out and pop back in, and that's when he gets the pain and discomfort and the numbness going down. So I think when they did the imaging after that, they obviously recognized the old injury, and they had recognized that even before the first time he did. So they had done imaging, but I think that now the imaging after Toronto, I think showed that it's almost like I would. Again, I'm not a doctor. It's like you sprain your ankle and you stretch your ligaments. That shoulder area is just there's stretching in there, inside the capsule. So it's going to happen. You just don't know when or how often. But when it does, it creates a level of soreness for him. So there's really no risk of him playing. It's just a matter of this is going to happen. It's probably going to continue to happen. We just don't know how often. So I think the feeling was because it was a shoulder, and I'd spoken to him a little bit yesterday, even before the game. It's one of those things where it's a long recovery, several months. So I think the feeling was he's going to have to get this done. You do it now, and at least it gets him into a good portion of the summer that he could have left to get ready for next year's training camp and not have to worry about missing time or starting camp late.
So do you have a sense of when he's going to be able to do on basketball activities again? Like is it
I don't know.
August, or?
No, I think it may be earlier than that. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't talk to. I just know it's like a 3-month situation. And again, I don't know like what happens after 3 months. Is he actually back on the court doing stuff? Can he shoot? Like what's the? I don't know that. I just know that shoulder surgery, like most shoulder surgeries, it can be a long recovery.
Yeah, and obviously you have a lot of guards on the roster, so but no one really replaces Io. But how do you attack that with Trey Jones or what?
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad, for Io. Just I think he's worked really hard. I think he was playing well. It's unfortunate when a guy's not right physically. I think with Trey Jones, his availability, he's given us good minutes. Obviously, we're with some of the guards out right now with Lonzo, Kevin, Io. That certainly creates a depth issue there where we certainly had a lot of depth. But we're going to have different guys step up, tonight, in terms of, Javon's getting an opportunity, Taylor. We've got several guys who will get, obviously more of an opportunity tonight.
And Billy, sticking on the Io, obviously it sounds like he's not going to be pitching anytime soon with it. But at the same time, how would you sum up his season as it equates to what you guys installed from a philosophical standpoint of push? He seemed to be the perfect mechanism for that. And moving forward, how much do you guys covet what he does and his skill of doing that?
Yeah, I think it's a great point. I think he was a pretty big catalyst to the speed and pace at which we were trying to play. And not only for our team, I thought it generated easy stuff for him with his speed in the open floor. So I think identity-wise, he did a great job. I think the other part, for him is not only the speed and pace, of what he was doing, but also the ability to kind of get downhill and attack the paint, attack the basket. I think his shooting's gotten better. I think his overall game has gotten better. In terms of trying to build out how we're playing, to your point, I think he fits in really, really well to how we've tried to play.
And again, this is just coming from years of baseball. If there's loose in the capsule or there's labrum anywhere in there, baseball's completely different, obviously, but was a reason to do it now because there is concern that while the timetable might be 3 months, shoulders are tricky and it could go longer?
Well, I think it was just, one, he wasn't feeling right. Coming to the end of the season, there's 20 games. This is going to be a long process for him to get back from his surgery. I went through it with Kobe when he kind of had his shoulder surgery. Doing it now gives him more time, leading up to next year's training camp. That was part of it. And then the other part of it was, even if you do get him back where he feels good and he's out there, you just don't know when it's going to happen again. So it's almost like it's inevitable he has to have a surgery. Why put it off and try to get through 22 games here where he may be in, he may be out, he may be in. Inevitably, you're going to wait to the end of the season and then, have him go do the surgery anyway. Why not just do it now and expedite maybe a month and a half off of the recovery where he gets that back in the off season to kind of get himself whole.
And then I haven't been with the team the last couple of games. Has there been any update on Patrick Williams and where he is in the evaluation process?
Yep, his progress has been going pretty well. This will be the week they ramp him up. I think if he can respond this week and respond well, I would hope that by next week there's an opportunity. Maybe it's on the Florida trip, maybe soon after that. But he's certainly going in the right direction and moving closer to playing and hasn't had any setbacks. Now the biggest thing is just getting him on the court and ramping him up.
Billy, the Pacers just added Tony Bradley on a 10-day. You guys had him for a while. What did you like about him, and what do you think he can add to what the Pacers do?
Yeah, man, a guy that's, I think, as a big man skilled roller, got good hands. I recruited Tony. He was a Florida kid, recruited him out of high school. Knowing him and his family for a long time. It was great to work with when I was with him. I think it gives him another big body, size, another skilled big man. He's not obviously a guy that's taken a lot of threes throughout his career, maybe like Miles Turner has, but still a guy that I think they can run the offense through. He can transfer the ball from one side to the other. Big body defensively, can rebound. So I think it just gives them more size up front.
Hey Billy, what are you seeing from a mentality standpoint? 20 plus games left, still holding that number 10 spot down, that play-in spot. Do you see a group that is, hey, this is important, let's fight for this, or a group that's like, we're here,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody else seems to be grabbing it, or I mean, are these guys still engaged and excited that, hey, let's push for this? This does mean something.
Yeah, I mean, we're I haven't the last game or two, but going into the Philly game, we talked about the standings. We talked about, showed where we're at. The opportunity to certainly move up, but also there's an opportunity for us. I shouldn't say opportunity; it's a real realization we could move down. So I think that the purpose of which they're trying to play with, I feel like they've been really, really engaged and they've competed, at a pretty high level. Even the games that we lost, like I liked the way we played in New York. I liked the way we played against Phoenix. I mean, we came up on the short end of the stick. The Clippers, the same situation, liked the way we played. We were fortunate, in the Toronto game to get the win, down by 4 with 6 seconds to go. It's not a game you normally win. But we were fortunate to win that in overtime. So I think coming out of the break with the new guys getting more acclimated, the way they played and approached every game, to me has been it's been great. And with the fact that we've had a lot of guys out since the break, Vucci's missed quite a bit of time, Patrick's missed quite a bit of time. Now you're going out with her, you're going out with Lonzo, Ayo's done for the year. So we've had a lot of, moving parts, so to speak. But I think that regardless of the guys that have been out, I think the guys that have played have really lined up and tried to play.
Are either Ball or Herder long-term concerns?
I don't think so. I talked to Lonzo today a little bit, not nearly at a level that it was when he, first did it.
Yeah.
But certainly significantly sore enough, where I think, it's probably going to be something he's going to have to manage the rest of the year, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Herder's situation is just more, I think, the cutting and the moving. For him, there was a lot of soreness in his knee, and I think they want to get that cleaned up. I don't think it's like a serious or bad sprain. It's probably a mild sprain. But until he feels comfortable moving and cutting with the medical staff, that'd probably be a time when they feel good to let him go. I don't anticipate either one of those guys being weak, so to speak.
Gotcha.
But I don't know if they'll be available for Cleveland either.
Okay.